Welcome to YOUCANIC. In this video I'm going to show you how to check if your Mercedes miles has been changed. So you might have a car that's showing really low miles and you're not sure if those miles are correct or not. Now a lot of times what people do with Mercedes is the data for the mileage, especially on the newer ones, it's stored in the instrument cluster, but it also is stored in your ignition, and the instrument cluster has to communicate with the ignition to make sure that the mileage matches. Because if somebody has changed it, they'll have to change the whole ignition and the ECU and a few other things to make that car work and run again. So what people do is remove the instrument cluster and go by what's called a filter that's plugged in. So when you come in and connect to the cluster, they connect something that what it does, it blocks the communication between the instrument cluster and the key. So the instrument cluster is going to show whatever the cluster has from whatever donor car that came. It's going to show low mileage. Now if you don't do that, the instrument cluster is going to show dashes there. So what that means, it means two things: either that instrument cluster is brand new and has not been programmed, or that instrument cluster, the mileage that are stored on it are not the same as the mileage that are stored in the ignition. So that's why you see dashes there. So you need to be very careful if you're buying a car and it's showing dashes there, because that means that cluster is it's not the original, has been replaced. So but what if there's a case like this where you see the mileage there but you're not sure? Maybe they're still changed and somebody has put maybe a filter, and sometimes these cars can be programmed, but they're a lot harder and most people don't even go through that route. So what you'll do is you'll need a full system scanner that can look at the ignition switch. So here we're going to scroll down to the electronic ignition switch, and then we're going to go to live data, and then current kilometer reading, and you can see the mileage right there, 127,000 kilometers, which is equal to that, and that is currently displayed in mileage, but that's okay, that's not a problem. The units are here different. So that's how you can check. And now if you're still concerned about a car, maybe the mileage has been changed or something like that, and you expect really high mileage but the car is showing really low, you can check a few other things. One thing I like to check is if you go to the airbag control module, you can actually, for example, see how many hours this car has been on. So go to airbag, and then go to live data, and then operating hours counter, and then here we can see this is units in seconds, but you can see how long that car has been running, basically has been on. So that's another indication of how long, and if you're not sure, you can do this, compare a couple, 2-3 cars that have correct mileage, and you get an idea how long that car should have been run. Because if somebody's cut the miles in half and put a different cluster, then you're gonna have really significant time difference there. But that's how you can check, see if your Mercedes has the correct mileage or has been changed. Now it's not a sure way, even this way, because it's still a possibility somebody replaced the cluster, ignition, ECU, TCU, and everything on the car, and there's no way of really telling it. And a lot of times even history reports don't even pick up the fact that the car has mileage has been changed. But at least you're doing your due diligence, especially if you're looking to buy a car. You can actually do these tests. You don't need to pull out a cluster to see if there's anything installed there. You can just do this, check the mileage in the ignition switch, and that's going to tell you if the mileage and what mileage is on that particular Mercedes-Benz. Thank you for watching YOUCANIC, where you can be the mechanic.